Hi guys, Michael Abayimi here. Today, I figured I'll talk about the Nigerian cinema going experience, or more specifically, my experiences while going to the cinema here in Nigeria. So the purpose of this video is not to call out any particular cinemas, but more to highlight the issues I've experienced while going to the cinema in general. I realize that some of these issues might apply to cinemas all over the world, so hopefully every type of viewer will be able to get something out of what I'm about to say. With that said, here are some of the biggest issues I've experienced while going to the cinema here in Nigeria. The first issue I would like to point out is the presence of too many ads while going to watch a movie at the cinema. So right now, cinemas have this habit of advertising a particular start time only for you to get there and have to sit through up to 30 minutes of ads. So I realized that yes, you need to pay your bills, you need to make money, but still, you still need to find a delicate balance. You need to be able to respect the time of your patrons. Because if we wanted to actually watch a bunch of ads, we could have just easily stayed at home and watched TV for free. You don't have to be in the cinema to be bombarded with ads and everything. The worst case I've actually experienced was the day we went to watch Avengers Endgame. I swear, we almost had to sit through up to 45 minutes of ads just before the movie started. It was insane. It was as if they knew that this was like a tentpole movie. And because of that, they had gone and booked all the ads in the world, and we now had to sit through everything. It got to a point that I was even wondering that why are we even here? Like, I actually even forgot we came to watch a movie. So this is bad. Like, no matter what, you should be able to respect the time of your patrons. So cut back on the ads and give patrons a better experience overall. Another issue I've noticed while going to the cinema here in Nigeria is the fact that the screen that is showing the movie is almost always too dark. Some films have a lot of like nighttime scenes where obviously the filmmaker might make the choice not to really light the scene very well, but still, you should still be able to see what's going on. Some of our projectionists over here, I don't even know what they are doing. Like, a projectionist's job is to calibrate the screen, make sure everything is in working order so that patrons will actually have a very good experience when they watch it. But some of them don't even do anything. You go in, the movie is too dark, you can't even see anything, and you're like wondering, why am I even here? And I feel this is unfair, especially since we are paying for these movies, and especially now that like they've jacked up their prices with inflation and everything, and upon all the increase in prices and rates across the board, we still have to be struggling to watch the movie again. Because the main reason why we go and watch these movies in the first place is for the cinema experience. It's for that experience of getting to see everything on that big screen. And what's the point if you're there and you can't actually even see what you're watching? I'll give you an example. The most recent movie I saw was Beast with Idris Elba. I actually elected not to review this movie because I honestly believe that I hadn't watched the film. Because half of the film, or even more than half of the film, was set at night time, and I struggled to see what was going on. I couldn't even tell what was happening. Everything was so dark, like you could barely see anything. And afterwards, I even went and made a complaint. And what did they say? The first guy I actually complained to was saying that it was from the source, that's how the movie was. And I'm like, we watched the trailers, guy. Like, we saw the trailers before coming to watch a movie in the cinema. So you can't tell me that this is from the source when we could clearly see what was happening in the trailers. But anyway, when I was finally able to talk to the guy at the concession stand, he told me that I should have simply made a official complaint and somebody would have come in and adjusted the brightness and everything. And I'm like, is it our job to be pointing out when a movie is too dark? Shouldn't you guys have like had somebody, the projectionist once again, go in before the movie starts and actually adjust all these settings and make sure that your viewers have a very good experience? So I don't know, man. I just feel that this is very bad, and this is something that really needs to be worked on by a lot of cinemas, because I've seen it times without number. I'm just giving you my most recent account from the last time it happened. So hopefully this is something that will become a thing of the past eventually. But for now, it's something I still consider a very big issue. Another issue again is the fact that our cinemas typically have a very limited selection of films. What do I mean by this? Basically, I think we have just the one distributor that distributes to every single cinema. And because of that, all the cinemas are literally showing the same films. But this selection of films tends to be very limited. Like, you hardly ever see a horror film or movies of the art house variety showing in our Nigerian cinemas. For example, Barbarian is currently making waves this weekend overseas and all over the world, but I can bet you that no Nigerian cinema is ever going to show that film, which is a shame, because this is the kind of movie that you want to see with a crowd and have the experience, like the shocks, the reveals and everything happen in that cinema setting. But for some reason, I guess because horror films in general don't attract a massive crowd the way like other tentpoles, your typical action films do, But still, there are people that actually enjoy seeing this type of films as well. So I think they should try and make an allowance for having some of those films also show over here in Nigeria. My favorite movie of 2018 was A Quiet Place, and I didn't actually get to watch it on the big screen because our cinemas elected not to show it. This was like a big shame because that was the kind of movie that cinemas were made for. But thankfully, the sequel was shown at the cinema, and funny enough, even though this was like when we were still just coming out of the throes of the pandemic and everything, the turnout that day was decent, which means there's actually an audience for this type of movies. So I really hope our cinemas will do their due diligence and make sure that they have a better variety of movies. Then the last and probably biggest issue I have with cinemas here in Nigeria is the fact that they have this habit of cutting off the film before the post-credit scene ends. Most films nowadays have some kind of stinger, that final scene after the credits have rolled where they show you something. This was kind of like popularized with the MCU movies. Like every single MCU film has a post-credit scene. It's a known fact now, and everybody actually even looks forward to the post-credit scene. Sometimes the post-credit scene is even more enjoyable than the actual movie that led up to the post-credit scene. And I've noticed times without number that once the movie ends and the credits starts to roll, the cinema lights just come on, and before you know it, the cleaners are already in the hall trying to clean and get ready for the next movie. And okay, fine, like sometimes we actually give them the allowance for them to clean and everything, but every now and then we even get security called in that we need to leave, that the movie is over and everything. And I'm like, no, the movie is not over. Like, we paid for this movie, and part of what we paid for is the credits. If I actually wanted to sit down and watch the credits themselves, I should be entitled to. Like, I mean, I paid for this, so why will you come and tell me that we need to leave and make room for cleaners or make room for the next showing? So it just doesn't make any sense. Like, some of these guys, they didn't even know the concept of a post-credit scene in the first place. So I feel they need to like educate their security guys, educate the cleaners so that they'll know that yes, some people would actually like to stay back and watch the entire showtime of the movie. What's actually happening here is because they've spent so much time, wasted so much time with ads in the beginning, they now try and make up some of that time by cutting the film short, which doesn't make any sense. You can now shortchange the viewer because you, as a greedy corporation, has decided that you need to like make as much money as possible by squeezing as much showtime as possible. So I feel this one is more for the booking guys or the schedule. Like, you should do it in a more sensible way. Reduce the number of ads you do. Allow enough time for your cleaners to have for getting ready for the next showing, and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to touch on in this video. I'm not sure who's actually going to see this, but I just feel it's something that needed to be said. It's a video I've been sitting on for quite a while now. These are like issues I've been experiencing, you know, the times I've been going to the cinema. So I was like, it's about high time that I made this video and aired my views on all these things. Have you experienced any of these issues? Or what are some of the other issues you've had while going to the cinema here in Nigeria or anywhere in the world for that matter? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed watching me rant for a couple of minutes, or to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. And until the next one, this is Michael signing off.